A lot of speed.
He warming up
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your and I'm gonna beat Jaden on Love it. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He laughing.
Our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
You know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you gotta know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through, and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You gotta understand their DNA, you know. And we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like, we all don't.
Gervonta Davis was visibly frustrated after seeing Jake Paul spar with Shakur Stevenson ahead of their fight. He said that Jake is free to do whatever he wants, but it won't change the outcome when they meet in the ring. Tank made it clear that he will reveal his full power on fight night and defeat Jake. In his view, any training or warm-up Jake does now won't matter when the real fight begins.
Don't worry about it. I don't gotta set up here. Let anything happen, and I'm gonna show you and him. Bet.
It begs the question, Tank.
Nothing.
Boxing experts have pointed out an interesting twist in the debate over the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. Some fans and commentators are unhappy, saying Tank's choice disappoints traditional boxing enthusiasts. At the same time, others see this matchup as an opportunity, either for promotion or personal gain. Shakur Stevenson himself recognized this tension, saying that while Tank's decision may upset purists, he is still willing to spar with Jake to support the sport and stay relevant in the conversation. This situation highlights how modern boxing balances business, reputation, and fan expectations.
Criticism for fighting Jake Paul, but yet at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul. Spar Jake Paul for the Tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap. Because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So, do I think that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence Crawford said in an interview that he wouldn't fight Jake Paul, that's not a serious fight, and then they said, well, would you fight Jake Paul for $200 million? And he said, I'd be fighting Jake Paul.
Analysts have suggested that Gervonta Davis is largely driven by financial rewards in his upcoming fights. The matchup with Jake Paul has sparked debate because many believe Tank is prioritizing money over his boxing legacy. Fans wanting to see him face top-tier fighters like Shakur Stevenson or Lamont Roach would need to see a very lucrative deal, similar to those in fights like Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. At this stage in his career, money appears to influence Tank's decisions more than competitive glory.
Look at how Tank started acting after he made $40 million with Ryan. When he make another $40+ million with Jake,
he's gonna go make $40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Roach for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing. You do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it. You want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40, 50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo money, man.
Shakur Stevenson, a well-respected figure in boxing, expressed clear disappointment after Tank chose to fight Jake Paul instead of facing him. He suggested that avoiding a fight with him could be seen as dodging, which many consider disrespectful to the sport. Shakur stressed that real fighters take on tough challenges, and that opting for a crossover opponent over a top professional like him undermines boxing's integrity. His statement has fueled ongoing discussions about Tank's priorities and the role of financial incentives in the sport.
What do you think about the rumors that Tank and Jake might fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. So I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left, so he better be on his A game.
Gervonta Davis responded strongly to fans questioning whether he is avoiding top fighters like Shakur Stevenson. He said he doesn't care about public opinion, pointing out that fans often change their support after a single disappointing performance. Tank emphasized that his focus is on his career and personal goals, not on pleasing critics or fans. This reaction reflects his confident and unapologetic approach to handling pressure while staying in control of his own decisions and fight path.
Gervonta, a lot of boxing fans aren't happy with the fact you've taken this fight rather than the road rematch, fights with the likes of Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo, etc. What do you make of that reaction? And can we still expect to see those fights?
Why should I care what they think? When y'all switch somebody can have a bad day and y'all switching on who y'all favorite fighter is or who this person is supposed to fight. Like y'all need to sit back and be fans and just enjoy the sport. Like y'all even talk about people's personal lives. Like why when it come to that?
Michael J. White weighed in on the debate, saying that Jake Paul, no matter the hype or attention, cannot be considered a legitimate boxing champion. He pointed out the clear difference between exhibition or crossover matches and official championship fights sanctioned by major boxing authorities. His comments echo a common view among professional fighters and fans, who see Paul's fights as entertainment rather than true tests of championship skill, highlighting skepticism about the fight's legitimacy.
Do you think that Jake Paul could win a legitimate boxing title?
No, no, because he's so far behind someone of his equal age who's been doing it for a very long time. He started very late. That's why I applaud exactly what he's doing. I think he should be doing exactly what he's doing. If he fought a legitimate, top 10 cruiserweight, I will shut the up. If he's able to fight an actual contender of the top 10, that would be astonishing if he can get to that point. If he beat anybody in the top 10, that would be, to me, the greatest thing he's ever accomplished.
Yeah, because historically, he's fought old men.
I think he's done it the right way, because there's a possibility where a 50-year-old Anderson Silva might be able to beat him. Who thought he was going to beat Tyson? I really thought, oh, Tyson's just going to go to the body and just punish his body, because I thought that that's what would win him the thing, but he did not do that. I think it makes for a good matchup. He's made for great spectacle.
Daniel Cormier, former champion and respected analyst, criticized the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight, calling it unexciting and lacking real entertainment. He argued that Tank doesn't fight out of financial necessity, and the matchup doesn't match the competitive level expected at his stage. By calling it boring, Cormier suggested the fight is more about curiosity and social media attention than advancing the sport of boxing.
I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why
he's been a world champion so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why and how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Suleiman was very upset that he wasn't gonna be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's a thing that's happened since the beginning of time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Commentator Show has acknowledged that even with the unusual matchup, public curiosity will likely drive huge viewership. Tank's recent comments about potentially leaving boxing have caused such speculation about whether the fight will happen. Tension between Tank and Shakur Stevenson on social media has added drama, with both exchanging sharp words about each other's skills. This ongoing feud adds unpredictability, blending entertainment with anticipation for the fight.
Do we think the fight is ridiculous between you and Jake Paul? Yes. Are we going to watch it? Yeah. Do we like it? Maybe. Maybe. And let me tell you why it's maybe, why it's not no, why it's not yes. It's maybe because many of us, we just don't believe it. We just don't believe the fight is real. We know it's an exhibition, but we just don't believe that you two are going to try to take each other's heads off. Other than that, it's kind of interesting. You have a 5'5" lightweight versus a heavyweight Jake Paul, who's really not a boxer with an amateur background and all that shit, but he's been knocking people out. It's kind of interesting if we know y'all were trying to knock each other's head off. And we don't know that because Mike Tyson did knock out Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Rock Logan Paul, that kept him standing. That shit, we getting tired of that shit, right? We need confidence. Are you guys going to try to knock each other's heads off? Jake Paul, when you swing at Tank, are you going to try to hit him and knock that little man over the top rope into the damn fifth aisle? Are you going to try to hit him and make his ass evaporate? Or Tank, are you going to show the world that Jake Paul should not be in the square circle with a real boy? Are you going to try to knock his ass out, sleep him, drop him like you did Ryan Garcia, stop him the way you did Mario Barrios, knock him out like you did Leo Santa Cruz? Are we going to get a viral knockout? Are y'all going to try to stop each other?
Teofimo Lopez, a top professional boxer, suggested that the fight should be seen primarily as entertainment rather than a serious sporting contest. He highlighted the difference between traditional championship fights and crossover events, framing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup as a spectacle designed to entertain audiences rather than determine who's the better boxer. This aligns with the growing idea that some modern fights focus more on showmanship and media attention than pure competition.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun, it makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about, you know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count? Yeah. We need to see you and Tank though. Has to happen.
What happened?
It has to happen, you and Tank.
We'll see, man. It's up to the champ. You're the champ, right? You're fighting. He's a celebrity champ. Ooh.
Tim Bradley, a former world champion, highlighted the personal and professional pressures Tank Davis faces outside the public eye. He urged critics to consider the mental and physical strain on fighters before making harsh judgments. Bradley noted that Tank has faced significant challenges recently, and constant scrutiny from fans, media, and analysts adds extra stress. His perspective reminds us that fighters operate under intense pressure, and understanding their situation can lead to fairer, more respectful discussions about their career choices.
Tank, you know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you gotta know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through, and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You gotta understand their DNA, you know, and we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like, we all don't do that. We don't do our research. You know, you got to know about somebody's history. So, like, if you understand where Tank came from, if you understand his background, then you understand how he thinks and why he feels the way he feels. You know, you do. So, I mean, for instance, like, his parents, right? His parents were drug addicts. in and out of the system, in and out of jail. You know, he lived with his grandmother. You know, like, you gotta understand when he started boxing, why he started boxing. Understand that, you know, that what the influence that Calvin has had on his life, and how if their relationship isn't great, how that affects him. And this is not making any excuses, people. This isn't. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just giving you what I think, and I'm giving you the facts surrounding all of this. You know, I remember back in 2012, you know, I'm living right. I'm living civil. I'm taking care of my business. I feel like I'm doing everything right.
Experts have debated what the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight means for boxing. They say that while the fight is profitable and attracts attention, it may not help boxing's credibility. Jake Paul tends to choose opponents with notable differences in size and skill to create curiosity, but this can risk lowering traditional competitive standards. While the matchup draws viewers, it may also challenge boxing's legitimacy in the eyes of purists. Analysts note that Paul's strategy is calculated to maximize media attention, with the weight difference between the fighters adding to the spectacle and sparking questions about Tank's performance and Paul's potential surprises. This shows the entertainment-driven and business-savvy side of modern boxing promotions.
Why are you not fighting guys your own fucking size? Look at this, John. This is embarrassing. And not to mention, Georgia already said, no, you can't have this fight here. So they moved it somewhere else. Dave, do you know where they moved the fight? Can you look it up? This is embarrassing. Look, he actually put his hands on his knees and he was still the same height, maybe a little bit taller than Gervonta Davis. I mean, I'm all in on Gervonta. I want Gervonta to win this fight. I want him to hit. I mean, I'm not saying he can knock him out, but I think if he hits him to the body a couple times, John, he may be able to catch him. A lazy jab or something, you know, he might be able to pop him to the body and get him good. I'm hoping. Jake Paul down with a body shot.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
Could you imagine?
I would. It'd be great.
It's a win right there.
It'd be great.
During the face-off, commentators noticed that Tank looked noticeably smaller than Jake Paul, which surprised some and even embarrassed others. Analysts, however, point out that Tank's skill, speed, and experience give him a clear advantage in the ring. His agility, precision, and technique make him the superior fighter, proving that appearances can be misleading and that his in-ring performance, not brief promotional visuals, will determine the outcome.
I think that the one thing that Jake Paul is really going to have to try to figure out in this fight is how do I catch this little son of a bitch? Because he's fast. And, you know, Gervonta, I would, you know, I'm not telling Gervonta Davis to, you know, cut down and weight like he normally does. Just get in shape. Whatever you weigh, you weigh. Don't try to add weight. There's not enough time for you to add good weight that's not going to make you tighter or anything like that. So just come in at your normal, walk around, good weight. You've been training hard. Whatever it is, because they've said 195 is the max that.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates. Until next time.